kindergartners. Today I'm going to read you a story, so kind of like for morning meeting, and then you're going to use this story when you do your writing today, okay? So this story is called The Easter Egg Farm, and it's written and illustrated by Mary Jane is her name. So she wrote the words and did the pictures. This is my favorite Easter story. So this is the title page, and that's Pauline, and these are her friends, but they're not very nice to her. You're going to find that out. Pauline lived in Mrs. Pennyworth's hen house with 4 other hens. So there's the 4 other hens, and this is Pauline. And these hens have laid those eggs. That's what hens' jobs is. Each day, Mrs. Pennyworth collected the eggs. "Only 4 eggs again today?" she asked. "Somebody isn't doing their job. Are you all trying?" The hens clucked. "Quack, quack, 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 quack." "Well, try harder. I want 5 eggs tomorrow. Concentrate." Pauline was embarrassed. She was the only one not laying an egg. Every time she tried, the other hens squabbled. And that's a big word for kind of argued. Pauline couldn't concentrate in all the confusion. "Pauline is lazy," one hen clucked. "I'm not lazy," Pauline said. "I'm just different." She turned her back on the others and concentrated very hard. Finally, a wonderful thing happened. Pauline stepped back to look at the egg in her nest. It wasn't like the other eggs, but Pauline thought it was beautiful. Look at it, it's right there. And up here, there's a close picture of it. "Get a load of this," another hen cackled. "Pauline just laid the world's ugliest egg." "It's not ugly," Pauline said. "It's just different." But Pauline began to feel ashamed of her egg. So ashamed as she kind of felt embarrassed. She nudged it, so that's kind of tapping it, moving it, under the straw with her beak. The harder Pauline tried to lay a normal egg, the stranger her eggs got. She hid each one of them, but not before the other hens had seen them and had made fun of her. So I'm starting to notice something. Are you starting to notice something? Like, look it, Pauline must have been looking at this wire, that's called chicken wire, and then she laid a chicken wire egg. And here, she was looking at the straw, and she laid a straw egg. She was looking at this bag that says feed, it's got corn in it, and she laid a feed egg. Here she was looking at the piece of wood, and she laid a wood egg. I think whatever she's looking at, that's what kind of egg pops out. When Pauline couldn't stand the teasing any longer, she made herself a nest outdoors. So she's doing a good thing. When people tease you, remember we're supposed to tell them to stop or to get away from them. And Pauline's getting away from those other mean hens. She stared at the sky, concentrating very hard. This time her egg came out with blue and with clouds. But before Pauline could hide the egg, someone saw it. Mrs. Pennyworth. "Pauline, what a lovely egg," she said, holding it up in the sunshine. "This is too unusual to crack open for my breakfast. I'm going to put it on my windowsill where everybody can enjoy it." So like there's little boards by your window, she's sitting it right on there. The next day, Pauline laid an egg that was even more unusual. Mrs. Pennyworth was delighted. "Can you make me more eggs like this?" Then Mrs. Pennyworth noticed the ladybug on a blade of grass. "Hey, I get it. The egg comes out looking like whatever you see, right? Pauline blinked. She wasn't quite sure how it worked herself. This is fantastic, Mrs. Pennywort said. Come into the house with me. We'll see what kinds of eggs you lay in there. So look at her ladybug egg. That's my favorite one. I like the cloud one too. Pauline loved being inside. There were lots of pretty things to look at. In her new surroundings, Pauline became quite creative. Soon her unusual eggs lined the windowsills of Mrs. Pennywort's house. So look at all the different things she looked at Mrs. Pennywort's house. One day a lady appeared in the window. Are these lovely eggs for sale? I need one for every child in town. They're for the annual Easter egg hunt. No problem. We can lay that many eggs, can't we, Pauline? We, thought Pauline. She'd never seen Mrs. Pennywort lay an egg before. So she knew it was up to her. Laying eggs for the Easter egg hunt would be an honor. She clucked happily. Come back for your eggs the night before Easter, said Mrs. Pennywort. Oh, look at what's Pauline looking at. She's looking at the cup, right? Or the teapot to do that egg. So then Pauline was excited. She started laying 2 eggs a day, then 3, then 4. Mrs. Pennywort began taking Pauline on field trips for inspiration. That means to get her some more ideas. The first week, they went to the art museum. So what was she looking at there? Yeah, Mona Lisa's smile. She was looking at the moon on that picture. And that one. Oh, look, she looks just like Mrs. Pennywort. This is eggs that lots of times the girls in our class like. The second week, they went to the ballet. Pauline was so thrilled by the music and dancing. She laid more eggs than ever when they got home. Look, she did ballerina eggs. That could be one you could draw in your journal. Finally, it was the day before Easter. The egg lady will be here tonight, said Mrs. Pennywort. I better start packing up the eggs. She lifted an egg from the windowsill. Uh-oh. There's a crack in this shell. Mrs. Pennywort ran to another window. Pauline, some of the eggs are hatching. We shouldn't have left them in the sunshine. So if eggs get real warm in the sunshine, that makes them develop into a baby. Soon, baby chicks were popping out all over the sunny side of the house. Stay in there, Mrs. Pennywort shouted at the unhatched chicks. You're ruining the eggs. But the chicks didn't listen. They just kept hatching and hatching. Mrs. Pennywort took the broken shells to the table and frantically tried to glue them together. It's no use. I was never good at arts and crafts. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Yoo-hoo! Called the egg lady. I'm here for the Easter eggs. Do I have a deal for you? Cried Mrs. Pennywort. How would you like Easter chicks instead of eggs? What do you think Pauline thinks about that? Does she think that's a good idea? To give the egg lady her baby chicks? Terrific, the egg lady said, as bright-colored chicks scurried around her. Easter chicks are even better than Easter eggs. Mrs. Pennywort helped the egg lady gather the chicks. But as fast as they were popped into the basket, the chicks jumped out again. Mrs. Pennywort heard a clucking noise and looked up. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Pauline was fluffed up twice her normal size. She spread her wings like an umbrella, protecting the chicks who raced toward her. Oh, Pauline, said Mrs. Pennywort. Of course we can't give away the chicks. They're your babies. But what about the Easter egg hunt? The egg lady asked. The eggs on the shady side of the house didn't hatch, Mrs. Pennywort said. You can take those. Isn't it cool? Look at her baby chicks are like rainbow colors. Pauline kept all of her babies. She loved being a mother. Every day she took her chicks for a walk, showing them the beautiful things around the farm. The chicks' grown-up feathers started to come in. "These chicks sure are different," said Mrs. Pennywort. Pauline clucked proudly. "So look, this one came from this egg. It started out purple, and then it turned into a hen that looked like the egg it came from." I think that was the blanket on Mrs. Pennywort's bed. Soon, Pauline's daughters were laying their own eggs. They took turns in the nest box, laying eggs of every color and design. Children from miles around came to see the unusual eggs and chickens. Mrs. Pennywort's farm became known as the Easter Egg Farm. Pauline still lives on the Easter Egg Farm, but she doesn't lay as many eggs as she used to. Now, whenever she feels like an egg is coming on, Pauline closes her eyes. She doesn't concentrate on anything, and she lays a perfectly ordinary plain white egg, just to be different. So boys and girls, I want you to draw on a paper today, what if you were Pauline, what egg would you lay? Would you lay a ladybug one, a cloud one? Think of things in your house maybe you'd be looking at. Like I know Abel loves Legos. Maybe he'd draw a Lego egg. I know Anna likes cheetahs. Maybe she'd draw a cheetah egg. So go ahead and draw your favorite egg. Okay, I hope you liked this one. Bye-bye.